All right, it is time. We are here. It's a couple days out until Black Swan comes out for 2.0, and there's a lot of well, for me, I'm hyped. Black Swan, she's not my most preferred character, but I do want her so that I don't have to use Sampo, because while Sampo is good, Black Swan is better. That's just what it is. I'm trying to build the ultimate Kafka team because Kafka is not that great, but I'm trying to make her work, and I'm trying to build her the best team, like fucking Kafka, Black Swan, Ruan Mei, Hua Hua. That's probably like the best in slot team for Kafka right now, and I'm trying to make it happen. Right now we're in it's a really tough patch right now in a sense of who should you pull for, right? Oh, it's gonna be tough because there's Acheron, there's Sparkle or Hanabi, however you want to call her, and then there's Black Swan. So you got it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough with your Stellar Jades if you're free to play. So before I go through, because we have we have Black Swan's kit right here going on. They finally released her kit. They explained it a little bit in the live stream, but they don't tend to go in depth with how the kit works. But I'm curious how more in depth it's going to be, because people are trying to decide, should you go for Black Swan or should you go for Sparkle? My thing is, if you're free to play, I would 100% say skip Black Swan and go for Sparkle, because Sparkle is a universally good buffer. She can be used on any teams, not just Mono Quantum. She can be used for a lot of things. Black Swan is really only a must pull if you have Kafka. That's about it. Like, she enables dots. She's really good with dots, but if you don't have Kafka, Black Swan really isn't as good as she could be if she had Kafka. Like, she's not. You need a full team to make Black Swan work. Whereas with Sparkle, she's just a universally good buffer. She's Harmony. I don't think there's a single Harmony unit that's quote unquote bad. I mean, there are some niche. I'd say Hanya's kind of niche, but she's not bad. Like, there's no bad Harmony character. So I would say, just TLDR, if you're trying to decide who to pull for in 2.0, if you're free to play, I would suggest Sparkle, because Sparkle is just universally good. Black Swan, you're only pulling her if you have Kafka. That's kind of the reality of the situation. But here we have Kafka. I keep saying Kafka. We have Black Swan. God damn, she's hot. I gotta say, Hoyoverse knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to the character designs, because she's a fortune teller. Yeah, she's out here laying down, tits out, thigh highs, looking like she's about to get fucking railed throughout the whole night. Like, if Hoyoverse could have easily just designed this Gotcha Splash to be her sitting in a table with like a crystal ball or some shit like that with her tarot cards, while she's out here laying in a bed with her fucking tits. Like, this was intentional. That's all I'm saying. Like, they knew what they were doing when they did this. That's all I'm saying. She's a DPS character with flicking Arcana. Now here's the thing that confused me a little bit with the live stream, because they kind of skimmed through it with how the Arcana works. The Arcana is a separate form of DOT. So my question is, can Kafka trigger that? That's the question. Because if Kafka can trigger the Arcana, then like she can regular dots, like she can detonate the Arcana like she can regular dots, which I'm assuming would be the case. Not because it's Kafka, but I feel like the way it works is once they place the Arcana, anyone who attacks the enemy with the Arcana on them will ignite the Arcana or detonate the Arcana to do dot damage, right? So we got her Traces, which I'm assuming is this is her skill, Versera's Disquet, and English, me no English. After using the skill to hit an enemy that has a wind shear, bleed, burn, or shock, each of these debuffs directly has a chance of inflicting one extra stack of Arcana. So does that mean one extra, as in if they have all of these, they'll get 4 stacks, or is it 1 stack per enemy that has all this shit? I'm assuming it's the latter, because that would be broken. I feel like that'd be broken if you could get 1 stack per dot. It's telling this chance to inflict a stack of Arcana when a target enters battle. Every time the enemy enters battle. So this is her talent, where every time an enemy receives dot damage during a single attack by an ally, there's a chance to target. Okay, so yeah. So what I said earlier, it comes into fruition. So when the enemy has Arcana, basically, the Arcana detonates like a regular dot, inflicting damage. Okay, that's interesting. Increases damage dealt by this unit not equal to a certain percentage of effect hit rate. Okay, now this is the interesting part, because I've heard that Kafka, I keep saying Kafka, what the fuck's wrong with me? I've heard Black Swan needs a crap ton of effect hit rate. Like, I think it's like around 120% to get the max amount of damage out, but maximum damage. So if you get the 120, the damage goes up by like, I think 60 to 70%. I could be wrong on that, but don't quote me on that. So I could be wrong on that, but I know it increases the amount of damage by a lot. It's like how Ruan May, you need like 180 break effect to increase damage for your whole team by like, I think like around 60 or 50%. It's around that kind of same nature, where you just want a shit ton of effect rate on Black Swan. So I'm assuming the way you want to build Black Swan is you're gonna go for probably the dot set that Kafka uses. I'm assuming you're probably gonna want that set on her. You're gonna run an effect hit rate body with speed boots, and then for the orb set, I'm assuming you're probably gonna want to run that effect hit rate orb planner set. I forgot the name. It's with it's in the simulator, so I forgot the name, but it's like the one that brings up your effect hit rate by like 10% or something like that. So you're gonna want to run that on her, and then effect hit rate with speed, and then as much crit rate and crit damage as you can get. I'm assuming that's probably like the go-to build for Black Swan. There might be different ways to build her, but I'm assuming that's kind of the go-to. And then we got our trace materials. Thank God she uses this, because I have so much of this crap just laying around. I have no one to use it on, so that's blessed. This is the bug. That's fine. And then this is for the new area, because I heard they're releasing a bunch of new trace materials for 2.0. I don't know how I feel about that. Some people are happy about it, some people are whatever. I think I'm more whatever. I think adding more trace materials kind of just complicates things, because it's just like, I feel like it would be easier if they just kept all the trace materials the same, because if we're gonna get to the point where like where we're Genshin, we have like what, 60 plus characters. If we're eventually gonna get to that point, I feel like it would just make things a lot simpler if we just had one kind for every path. Then they'll just make farming a whole lot easier, so that we can just share the resources between all the characters. That's just my opinion. I don't really care that much. I feel like at some point, if we get too much to the point where it's like, oh, you need, it's like right now with Genshin, the biggest issue with leveling characters in Genshin is the characters, to ascend the characters, you need like local material, meaning you need material from specific regions to level the characters. And if you're not in that region by the time you have the character's just locked. There's nothing you can do about it, and that irritates people. Whereas if it was just a certain type of trace, a certain type of ascension material for the weapon classes, or like for spears, bows, catalysts, and claymore users, if they just had specific ascension materials for the classes, it would just be a lot easier to build all the characters, right? It's that same mindset where it's just like, if you're gonna increase the amount of characters the game has, increasing the amount of materials you need for every specific character, it just makes things a lot more complicated, and it's not a fun time. So I'm fine with this right now, but I feel like if they increase it more over time, then it's just gonna be too much, and it's just gonna cause a problem. So then we have our technique here, and basically I'm assuming, without even reading this, I'm assuming it's just, it automatically inflicts our one stack of Arcana on the enemies. And I can't not speak today. I'm assuming it just inflicts one stack of Arcana on all the enemies when you enter the battle. Best thing about this is it's not an attack, meaning you can stack it with other techniques, because that's one of the things about the techniques. When you have a bunch of characters where the techniques just are attacks that initiate the fight, you can't stack them, and it kind of sucks because you don't have all the buffs. But it is what it is. Not all of them can be stacked. It's fine. I get that. So, but it is better that it's not an attack, so you can stack it. Let me actually read it though. At the beginning of the next battle, there's a chance to inflict a stack of Arcana on each enemy. If the Arcana is successfully inflicted on an enemy, this effectively repeated on the affected enemies until the reach your chance to inflict Arcana will be lowered. Yeah, so basically just inflicts Arcana on all the enemies at the start of the fight. Deals wind damage to a single target with a chance of inflicting one stack of Arcana. So even with her basic, she can inflict Arcana. That's actually insane. So even with her basic attack, she can inflict Arcana, which I guess makes sense, because I think Gwyneth can do the same thing. She can inflict burn with her basic attack, but it's not as likely as like her skill. because I think with like her skill, there's like I think like 100%, maybe not 100%. Don't quote me on that. I know there's a high percent base chance with Gwyneth with her skill to inflict burn, and it's like it's the same thing with her basic attack, but it's not as high as a chance to do it. And if the target has wind shear, each has a chance of additional 1 stack on the enemy. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with the wording, right? Hoyoverse is known for being very crappy at like explaining how things work in the game. I mean, look at Genshin and their fucking artifacts explanations. But it says each respectively. So what I'm taking away from this is because it's saying each respectively. If an enemy has wind shear, bleed, burn, and shock, that means it has a chance to inflict 4 stacks of Arcana on the enemy because it says each respectively. Whereas it was just instead of just 1 based on the amount of dots it has. So like I'm saying, so because it has wind shear, you do 4 stacks. That's basically what I'm getting from this because it's saying each respectively. So that's just my thought process. And then we have the talents. Each enemy target has a certain chance to start to inflict burn. Yada. Why did I say burn? Each enemy target has a chance to start to each reflected by a stack of Arcana for every instance of dot sustained. When afflicted by Arcana, enemies targets will receive wind dots at the start of each turn. Each stack of Arcana increases the damage multiplier. So basically what I'm getting reading this, basically what I'm saying is basically what it's saying is the more stacks of Arcana, the more damage the wind shear will do. That's essentially what I'm getting from this. And ooh, and apparently inflicts to adjacent enemies. Right there. Oh, so this thing can actually attack enemies side to side. That's actually insane. Bro, Black Swan's looking crazier and crazier. Then we have her skill. God, the fuck. Why is Gordon Ramsay a fucking dinosaur? Deals wind damage to a single target enemy and adjacent targets at the same time. The chance of inflicting 1 stack of Arcana. So how many stacks of Arcana can you do? Like, what's the cap on the stacks of Arcana? Because like if you're doing Simulated Universe, right? You're doing the Path of Nihility, and then the enemy has like all the dots on them, including like suspicion and all that. Is it like you just have like 20 stacks of Arcana on them? I'm assuming not. I'm assuming like maybe it caps at like 6 or 10. Between 6 or 8. I'm assuming that's where it caps off. And there's a chance for reducing defense at the target enemy. So she also shreds defense. That's bro. Black Swan is what the fuck? Why is she so broken? She also shreds defense as well. How much though? How much is she shredding though? Either way, even if it's like 2%, that's still defense shred. So it's still good. So yeah, that's still like wow. She's really, not only is she hot, she's strong. Applies Epiphany. So this is her ultimate. God damn that animation. That's some creepy shit. The fucking this is literally just came to my mind. This fucking any Jujutsu Kaisen fans out there, this is fucking Mahito domain expansion right here, bro. Fucking self-embodiment of perfection. Applies Epiphany on all enemies for a certain number of turns. Enemies affected by Epiphany take more damage in their turn, and their Arcana effect is regarded as wind shear, bleed, burn, and shock effects. In addition, when their Arcana effect is triggered at the beginning of the next turn, the Arcana stacks are not reset. The stack non-reset effect can be triggered up to 1 time in Epiphany's duration, and its charges are replenished when Epiphany is applied again. Deals wind damage to all targets. So it's AoE. That's good. In their turn. Okay, so and then Epiphany is just, it increases the amount of damage of the dots, and then when Arcana and then the Arcana are not reset. What does it mean by not reset? That's even like they don't lose a stack. Because it says not reset. This is what I mean by when I say the wording is trash. So it says not reset. Does that mean like the Arcanas don't lose the stack? They just the stacks stay in place? It's like you don't lose a stack when the Arcana hits. Is that what happens? Is that what it's trying to say? I'm assuming that's what it's trying to say. Where it's like when the Arcana triggers, it doesn't lose the stack. That's what I'm taking away from it, saying it doesn't reset. All right, and that's basically all there is for Black Swan. She's looking insane. She's literally, I think, the perfect partner for Kafka. I genuinely think the perfect dot team would be Kafka, Black Swan, Ruan Mei, and then Hua Hua. That's probably like the go-to dot team. I don't think it's gonna get better than that. Well, there's still Acheron. I was surprised that she's Nihility. I thought she would probably be like Hunt or Erudition, because Erudition is kind of lacking right now. So I thought she'd be Hunt or Erudition, but nah, she's Nihility as well. So I'm curious what they're gonna do for Acheron, because I think with Black Swan, that's literally like it for dot. Like I don't see how they can expand dots anymore with Black Swan and Kafka, right? Maybe they can, right? But I don't think Acheron's gonna do anything with dot. So maybe she'll be some type of DPS debuffer or anything like that. I can't imagine her being anything other than DPS. Let's be real. Like Acheron, I can't imagine her being anything other than DPS. So she's gonna be some kind of debuffer DPS, I'm assuming. That's just assumptions. I don't know anything. Once again, I don't look at leaks. Like you have to remember, I didn't know 2.0 was happening. I thought it was gonna be like 1.7, and then we're gonna go to 1.8 and then 2.0. I don't look at leaks at all. I don't look at the Twitters. I don't look at anything. So Acheron, she's probably not afflicted with dot. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I don't know. But yeah, that looks like that's it for Black Swan. She looks crazy. She's insane. She's the best in slot partner for Kafka. I can't imagine a better duo. I've said this multiple times. I'm gonna have them scissor each other in the Memory of Chaos and just kill everything. It's gonna be great. But back to what I already said though. Should you pull for her if you don't have Kafka? No. Straight up, if you don't have Kafka, no. I'm thinking about person who wants to beat the hardest content in the game as free to play. If that's the scenario, if you don't have Kafka, no. Pull for Sparkle. A Harmony character will beat up in every patch, right? Generally in every patch, the Harmony characters are probably the best characters to pull. If you don't have Bronya, which like me, I don't have fucking Bronya, and it pisses me off every day that I don't have Bronya. If you don't have Bronya, if you don't have Ruan Mei, Sparkle is the must pull. Get Sparkle. All right, skip Black Swan if you don't have Kafka. All right, genuinely. All right, that's just my take. But the way I see it, if you don't have Kafka, there's absolutely zero reason to pull for Black Swan. Right? Because I'm thinking about free-to-play players. Right? Obviously, you know, pull for who you want. If you want Black Swan, go for it. But I'm thinking like free-to-play sweats that want to beat the game. No, that want to beat everything in the game as free-to-play. Obviously, if you want Black Swan, pull for her. Like, it's how you play the game. It doesn't matter to me. Like, play the game how you want. If you want to pull for Black Swan, go for it. Like, obviously that takes precedence. But if you're free to play and you're trying to, you know, beat the game with as little like Stellar Jades as you can. I'm trying to words. If you're free to play and trying to beat everything in the game, Memory Chaos 12, Pure Fiction, all that crap, Golden Gears, Swarm Disaster, I would recommend skip Black Swan, get Sparkle, because Sparkle is a universal buffer. She very skill point friendly. She increases the amount of skill points. I just think Sparkle is a better must pull than Black Swan in my opinion. But with that, damn, I'm ready for Black Swan. I'm ready. 2.0 is in like 2 days, I think. I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.